All right, I am standing in what I believe is Melbourne's Olympic Park, and you're looking there at the Hisense Arena. And Melbourne Park was officially opened in 1988 with the first tennis ball hit in January at the Australian Open. Steffi Graf and Mats Wilander became the inaugural singles champion. And previously known as Flinders Park, or the National Tennis Centre, Melbourne Park's primary arena, centre court, was renamed Rod Laver Arena, which is just behind me on my left, in 2000 in recognition of Rod Laver's remarkable tennis career. Laver achieved the Grand Slam twice and cemented himself as Australia's greatest and one of the world's best ever male tennis championships. So you're really an interesting configuration of parks here. And just over to the right you can see what I believe is another part of the complex where they'll have tennis matches. Zoom in a little bit, give you a nice look at that. And then I'll come back over and show you the Hisense Arena. And then just beyond that is the Cricket Club. And we'll go over and take a look at the Cricket Club here in just a moment. The gentleman where I am staying this week in Fitzroy here in Melbourne was really encouraging me to get out of the house, get away from my computer and come down and see these venues. That Cricket Club there that you see is one of the most famous cricket club venues in the world, I believe Kenneth was telling me. And then if I pan back around over here, you'll actually see the Rod Laver Arena. So let's we'll go take a look at the Cricket Club Stadium here. Good evening from the Melbourne Cricket Club, and you're looking at a statue here in front of the Melbourne Cricket Club of Shane Warne, and he is needless to say, a pretty famous cricket player. And the plaque below him says, named one of Wisden's 5 greatest cricketers of the 20th century. Shane dominated world cricket for 15 years. He revived the art of leg spin, combining prodigious spin and drift with unerring accuracy and subtle variations. So there you have it, one of the most famous cricket players. And right behind him, the statue of him, I should say, is the Melbourne Cricket Club. And the host where I am staying in Fitzroy told me that this really is something I should walk down and see. It's one of the most famed cricket venues in the world. So I don't think I'll be able to get inside, but nonetheless I wanted to walk down here and take a look at it. And from here I'm going to walk over to where they have the U.S., or actually not the U.S., the Australian Open, the tennis match. So I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get a glimpse of the inside of the stadium here from the gate perhaps. But anyway, so I'm going to go for a nice walk, and then from the spot of the Australian Open, I'm going to see if I can't find my way down to Chinatown. And I've heard that the Chinatown here is quite a sight to behold as well. Very, very clean, and a lot of interesting things to look at. You can see from the sky that the weather has kind of turned a little bit. It's rather blustery and windy. It's not raining yet, but it certainly looks like it's going to rain. Here's another statue in front of the Cricket Club right here. Let's see what this is. The first recorded game of Australian football was begun on the tree-dotted parklands outside the Melbourne Cricket Ground by teams from Scotch College and Melbourne Grammar School on 7 August 1858. After playing 3 days, the game ended in a draw, with each team kicking 1 goal. So the sculpture was by Louis Lawman in the year 2001. And then as I turn here, you'll have another view of the Cricket Club here. Should give a shout out to Kenneth. Kenneth is the gentleman that was really kind enough to host me these past several days here in Melbourne, and I really appreciate it, Kenneth. And thanks for the tips. Here is Dennis Lilly, and it says, with menacing speed and bounce, Lilly burst onto the international scene when he took 829 against a powerful World 11 at Perth in 1971. On return from a serious back injury in 1974, his slightly reduced pace was offset by a compelling mix of guile and perseverance, and he became a legend of the Australian cricket. So there you have Dennis Lilly. Quite a statue. Huh? We should be so lucky to have a statue of us in front of a stadium such as this one day. So let's just continue on walking. I can imagine what this place must be like on a game day. It must be just packed with a lot of people. Here's a net area, which must be some type of a practice ground. Reading these inscriptions on these monuments reminds me of a job I once had as a home health nurse for a gentleman named Richard Maddox, who was 63, and just before retiring he went blind from an overdose of radiation, treating a pituitary tumor. And Dick, as I used to call him, he would have me come over and read him the sports page, front to back. And when I was done reading the sports page to him, he'd have me read the dining out section, so to speak, the restaurant reviews. He really liked that. Here is Bill Ponsford, 1900 to 1991. And Bill was a prodigious run maker. He was the first player to make 2 scores of 400 or more in first-class cricket. He played 29 tests from 24 to 34, scoring 2,122 runs at 48.22. So there is Bill Ponsford. So when I was staying in Queenstown, there was an American who was the girlfriend of a gentleman that was the owner of the home where I was staying, and she was telling me that cricket, it's got to be one of the most boring games, but from the looks of this stadium here, it's hard to imagine that. And I believe I can see just over the fence line there is where they play the Australian Open. So I'll see if I can find my way over to that. Here's a nice view of the Melbourne skyline as I'm walking from the Melbourne Cricket Club over to the venue for the Australian Open. Walking over train tracks. Alright, just across from the park complex that I was just at, you can see I found my way over to the river, and this is the Yarra River, and as I do a pan you'll see another shot of the Melbourne skyline. As far as large cities go, you know, Melbourne is everything that I heard it was going to be. Really is a wonderful city. Just really, I can't imagine, you know, well, I could imagine how wonderful it would be to live here at this in this metropolitan area. There's another view of the cricket club and the Yarra River, which I'm just about to cross once again. And as I do, I can hear Melbourne coming alive. It's Friday night here in Melbourne. And even though when I went out it was pretty blustery and looked like, you know, a little bit of a storm coming through, nonetheless, it's still a beautiful night here. And seems like the city is just starting to come alive on a Friday night down under. And just up ahead on the right is the area known as Federation Square. And You know, you never know what you're going to see when you go out on one of these walks, and I don't know what I'm about to see and share with you over there at Federation Square, but there sure are a lot of people crowded into that square there. So let's go take a look and see what's happening here in Melbourne on a Friday night, shall we? Alright, so you can see I walked into quite a party here in Melbourne. Quite the crowd. Hey. Who is this singing?
Cat Empire! The Cat Empire!
Ah, okay. So you heard it there. Look at the crowd. Gals are just getting down. From looks of the crowd, he's a pretty popular musician. So, see if I can just walk my way through the crowd a little bit here. Wow. You know, you just never know what you're gonna walk your way into. Look at this crowd.
Thank you. How you feeling, everyone?
Justin something or another. So I'll go see if I can find a better angle.
I will.
Here's a shot of a lot of people sitting enjoying a nice dinner and some drinks at a pub just off Federation Square. Seems like they definitely have a nice nightlife here in Melbourne. Okay, so a young lady behind me was kind enough to tell me that this band is called the Cat Empire. And they are quite popular, to say the least. My mom back in Eastlake, Ohio is watching this on Friday morning, and she's probably tapping her feet. What a nice surprise to stumble upon here in Melbourne on a Friday night. Here's some more of Melbourne's nightlife for you. Not sure if this is a private venue or not, but you can say the bubbly is flowing here. Looks like some type of a wine festival or something. This is just off Federation Square. Okay, I found my way to Chinatown, and probably would have been better to do this video during the daytime, but nonetheless, I'm going to walk down the street here. Just Chinese restaurant after Chinese restaurant here, with the occasional other store.
Chinatown.
There, Chinatown.
Best place you can be.
All right. So here is. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe it is a nice place to be here at night. You can see. Looks like that is the. I would assume that would be the entrance to a section of Chinatown here in Melbourne. So we'll go check that out. All right. Maybe I spoke too soon. Just I rounded the corner and there I see this entrance to a street off of the street that I was just on. And while the street I was just on didn't look too happening, this street seems to have a little bit more foot traffic. So I'm going to just find my way and walk down here. I actually think I might stop and get a bite to eat. Some Chinese food actually sounds pretty good right now. So we'll find our way over. Here's a bakery. I don't necessarily think that this doesn't look Chinese to me, but who knows? I've never been in a Chinese bakery before. So you see a lot of restaurants. Here you see some. I would assume these are ducks or something hanging here in the window. What is that? Peking duck or something like that? Isn't there a dish called Peking duck? So definitely smells good as I walk along here. Here is it's an interesting gift store. You can see, buy different knickknacks, a lot of Australian goods. Shouldn't be too hard to find a place to eat, I would imagine. Boy, it smells good. A lot of people out on a Friday night. So I was walking along, I couldn't help but to think how much nicer it'd be to have somebody to share this with. That I've just all but given up on that gal that I promised I wouldn't mention her name. Can only, well, just about given up on that whole thing. Here's a gentleman playing some nice music. Mary Little Lamb. Melbourne's Chinatown at night. I'm going to go find myself something to eat. Just off the main street here in Melbourne's Chinatown, I see this little side street, and you can see there are all types of vendors set up here. This woman looks like she's cooking up the wontons. Maybe if I get close enough, you can actually smell them. Boy, they look good. So I'm gonna just wander my way down this small street. Share the experience with you. See what else what else they might have. Iced honey jelly drink. Not your ordinary fried chicken. Okay. Here's some interesting characters dressed up. Not Chinese. What are they selling?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, you mate, don't forget your name. It's usually $5 a photo.
It is, huh?
It's
And what do you gentlemen have here?
It's $5. $5 and you get a free bag of nuts.
Ah, okay. Now you don't look Chinese to me.
There we are. Look at this. Welcome to the most multicultural city in the world.
All right. So these are
French street food.
Look at that.
Yes,
It's really good.
peanuts, almonds, and macadamia.
Thank you.
It's a French street food.
What do we have up here? Okay. This is Mihub menu, curry puff, and all this good stuff. All right. So let's. I still got to go find myself something to eat. Found an interesting restaurant just on the other side of the main street, and it's called the Hot Pot. And I've never actually seen a restaurant like this, but they have a video that's playing here, and I'll show it to you. Apparently, you sit at a table, and in the center of the table there's a hot pot, and you put the various items in the hot pot to cook as you sit there and eat. So it sounds like a really nice way to enjoy a Chinese dining experience, that's for sure. Alright, so after all those fancy restaurants and the back alley barbecues, I found my way to this small little express place, and I got myself some honey chicken with fried rice and wonton soup. So that's it for this Friday night in Melbourne. Hope you enjoyed the tour.